Welcome, Dollar Store Cyanide, to Geek Salad's Retro Movie Review. For the Geek Salad Podcast, I'm Andy.
And I'm Mike.
And tonight, we hit the midway point of the Daniel Craig James Bond movies, 2012's Skyfall. Now,
Yes.
Mike, just because you had a look on your face like you didn't quite get the reference.
No, I got it. I was like, that'd be really unpleasant. Apparently it was.
Stupid Dollar Store Cyanide. So this one is widely considered to be one of the top films in the entire James Bond series, not just the Daniel Craig. Is this still your number one Craig Bond? I've only seen 3 of them.
Yes.
Right? All right.
Yeah, as of right now, yes, it is still my number one.
Okay. This is kind of floating for me now. After I watched No Time to Die, I'm like, because this was always my number 2 behind Casino Royale.
Right.
I don't know, man. It's like they're 2 very different movies, No Time to Die and Skyfall, but I just got to think about what I enjoyed watching more, what gave me more of everything. Right. But I do really enjoy this movie. I mean, this movie deserves all of the praise that it got. This is the highest grossing James Bond movie, even adjusted for inflation.
Yeah.
This is the top Bond movie. So,
and is this like one of the highest ranked Bond theme songs as well?
It's one of the top ranked theme songs. In fact, it was one of our tops on our ranking. Yeah. It is also the first James Bond film where the theme song won an Oscar.
Ooh.
There have been nominations before.
And now it's one of 2, I think.
3.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
The last 3 Bond movies have won Oscars for songs.
This one I can understand. The Billie Eilish one, all right, sure, yeah, it's fine. The
Writings on the Wall by Sam Smith. We'll talk about that next week when we talk about Spectre. I really enjoy that. I mean, I like the theme song itself. I mean, we're talking about. We might as well get this out of the way because it kind of is one of the stars in the movie.
Yeah.
It was a phenomenon.
Yes.
When this came out, I mean, they I've talked in the past about this when they strike when the iron is hot with a performer, and Adele was white hot at this time. So getting her to do but it was a perfect mix. She's a Brit, so it does it's definitely got that very British flavor to it.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic theme song, and it really kicks off what is kind of the next wave of the Craig films, which is weird that like these movies have waves for a series that only has 5 films.
Yeah. I not having seen the last 2 movies.
Right.
Like the first 2 movies are, one kind of like one arc. This one is kind of its own standalone one. I get the feeling that the last 2 are kind of one into the other type thing,
This sets up a lot of stuff. It is maybe, and we can discuss this next week when you actually watch Spectre. This might be the most James Bondy of the Craig films. Because
this one definitely feels like a transition movie.
It does. He's on a mission. He's got a trainee with him.
Yeah.
Typical Bond stuff. Take this guy out. There's a spectacular chase. There's in this case that train, which was great. What I love about that scene is when the steam shovel pulls off the back of the train and he just jumps right in and he fixes his suit.
Fix the cufflinks.
Yeah, I noticed also in this he runs a lot. Like he's got to do that fast, urgent running, and he's still got one of the buttons of his 3-button suits buttoned. I'm like, I would have let that one go. I would have just been like, let it flow.
Yeah.
But yeah, the opening sequence of this is really good because it sets up more so. I mean, I think more so than any of the other Bond movies of the Craig era. It really sets up, actually, maybe the entire series. It's not an isolated thing. It's not just this thing that happens that might have a couple of like little threads that come back into the main story. The entire crux of this movie is that M is the mother to these people, and Bond even calls her that in Quantum.
Yeah,
he's kind of like she's like my mother.
and Javier Bardem mentions that numerous times.
Exactly, but what happens is that they are so won over by her that they kind of forget her job is to get the job done. And if it means that a 00 is expendable, then a 00 is expendable. And that carries on. The fact that she tells Moneypenny to take the bloody shot, regardless of whether or not, for Bond's safety, take the shot.
Yeah.
And it does set up nicely how this movie is going to go.
I mean, not only that, but like everything that, yeah, I don't think there's ever been a pre-credit sequence that really connects as intimately with the rest of the movie. I mean, even right down to like him getting the shrapnel in his
in his chest. Yeah,
and that's what leads them to the character later on.
Right. I mean, this isn't the first time that we'll see Bond, Craig Bond as kind of the I've given up, just chilling out on my luxurious home. In this case, drinking at the local watering hole with the scorpion. That was kind of a cool thing.
It was kind of fun. Yeah. I get the feeling that the scorpion was CG, though.
Of course. Yeah. Either that or they do have venomless scorpions.
Oh,
I mean, there are scorpions on set that have their stingers removed already. And I mean, overall, I think that the setups for this movie are really, really great. Cinematically, this might be the best looking James Bond movie ever made. Just on a cinematography standpoint, this is Roger Deakins, who is a whiz in what he does. Roger Deakins.
I didn't realize it was Deakins.
Yeah, he was nominated for an Oscar for this. I think he finally won 3 years later for Blade Runner 2049.
Well, he is easily one of the best in the business right now.
He is. He is, because he can set up these amazing images which just look great as a still shot. The scenes in Shanghai, the scenes in Macau.
Yeah.
Bond coming on that riverboat with the fireworks behind him in the tux. Got all that. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
And then just like walking over the bridge to the casino thing. I mean, beautiful shots.
Yeah. It's unbelievable. It's gorgeous. The addition of Thomas Newman as the composer. This is the first non-Dave Arnold movie since Tomorrow Never Dies. I really found myself enjoying it because it felt very cinematic. Also, it doesn't hinge itself upon the theme song. It's
no. There are definitely
there are notes. There's but it definitely stood out to me as being more cinematic. More, he was going with what an action movie would have instead of just continually harkening back to the theme song.
Yeah, I think they used more. I think they used like the more of the theme song kind of notes more towards the third act, actually.
A little bit, but it's not nearly as egregious as the last two movies, which used a lot. I'm not complaining about what they did in Casino Royale.
I actually think that it works a little bit more when they use it towards the third act, because that's when you want that more, like, because Adele's song, I mean, her voice and the theme, it all had the very almost funeral dirge type feel to it.
It did, and that's the interesting thing really about this movie, is the fact that this movie is really ain't about Bond.
Nope.
It really isn't. It is about M.
Yeah.
And it is M has to atone for her sins before she dies. And it's a really interesting piece because this is the first movie that doesn't have a traditional Bond girl in any sense of the word. I'm not counting What's Her Name because that's kind of a hookup that still ended up
Severin, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that great scene with her though in Shanghai where, you know, the assassin like just takes his target out and she's just standing there and she just looks dead on at Bond. Again, great cinematography.
Oh yeah, especially with like the blue lighting of the neon.
Yeah. Yeah, it works
green.
so well. It really works so well in this movie. But I mean, we joked about this when the movie came out. The real Bond girl in this movie is Am.
Yeah.
Because she's got to be the one he's got to protect. This is the first time we have really seen her in action.
Yeah.
We've seen her in the field several times. We've seen her in danger before. But this is the first time we actually see her have to shoot people, to take people out, to come up with ways of avoiding, you know, oh God, why am I forgetting his name?
Oh, Javier Bardem's character?
Yeah.
Raul Silva.
Silva, yeah. Like avoiding Silva's men.
Yeah.
And she's fantastic. I mean, she was on the short list for the Oscar for this, which I was kind of blown away because it's Judi Dench. If anyone was going to get nominated for a James Bond movie, it'd be Judi Dench.
Yeah.
But she's fantastic in this. I talked before when I was watching the end of this movie with you. I was like, how the fuck did we go this long without Albert Finney in a Bond movie?
It seemed like it should have been a nice fit, but for the little that we got him in this movie, he was memorable. He was awesome.
He's a lot of fun, and I feel like, and this is where the movie to me kind of steers away from like grand masterpiece that I feel Casino Royale is. The Albert Finney's inclusion in the third act is what redeems the third act. The second act, and this is something you rarely see in movies. Usually when we talk about movies that are really great, but it couldn't stick the landing. This one fumbled the landing, but managed to stick it at the end. The second act is when right up from when they capture Silva to when they get the Aston Martin is just.
Yeah, I was thinking this exact same thing when I watched it. It's like from when they capture the Silva to when, you know, right after he like shoots up the inquiry.
Yeah.
There's just something off on that. There's something missing that the other parts of the movie have.
I'll tell you what I feel it is. It's the villain deliberately gets himself captured because he's got an intricate plan. We saw it in The Dark Knight. We saw it in The Avengers that very same year.
Yeah.
It's a trope that needs to die.
Yeah.
And it's just tough because, you know, he's one step ahead of us. Wow, because he figured out a lot of intangibles that are just like left up to chance and everything.
I think another thing that kind of hurts that scene is the fact that we don't actually see how he does it.
Right. He hacked into the system. Great. Yep. How did you know that Q was going to use one of his own, you know, pieces of equipment in order to hack into your laptop?
Yeah, and how did he even did he have some technology smuggled in him somewhere? I mean, last time that you see, he's like smiling, and the guard just asks him something, and then it cuts back to like Q and Bond, and then next thing we know, he's escaped and he's killed the guards somehow. Yep. We don't know how. We don't know
how we got a gun.
There was just a whole big question mark there, and it's like, I would have liked to know how he did this.
Yeah, it is. It's the second act that really it hurts the movie in a way. I feel like, you know, given its length,
it is a long movie.
It is a long movie. I mean, again, we're not even close to the longest Bond movie yet.
Yeah.
But it's just something that is kind of forgettable. It can jumble in your mind if you think about it later on, like what part happened which time. And I mean, let's be
And then,
honest, it kind of makes Q look like an idiot.
yeah, and the whole the whole chase scene on like the subways, it's like, after like the big chase scene we had in the beginning, and the big fight scene that they're building up to, it was very blah.
Yeah, it was. And again, it's something we've seen before.
Yeah.
And that might be the thing about this movie is I feel like every action scene was taken from something else.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes in other Bond movies. Sometimes from Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
Which I was fine with it. Quite honestly, I was fine with it. I love the fact that because they sold all the the Bond family weapons.
Mm-hmm.
He has to go in with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Essentially a hunting rifle.
Yeah.
This movie is really, for Bond, a lo-fi movie.
Oh yeah. The only gadgets he's got is the gun that's teamed to his palm print and the little tracking device radio thing.
Right, exactly. It's called a radio. It was interesting too because I feel like Ben Whisshaw's addition to this series, it was definitely something I wanted to see. I wanted a Q in there, and I like that they brought in a much, much younger Q. Ben Whishaw he carries a lot of weight to whatever he does. Hell, he's Paddington, for God's sakes.
And but he's Michael Banks.
Yes.
Older Michael Banks.
He's a fantastic actor.
Mm. What I liked especially about him, especially when comparing him to like John Cleese's character, is that John Cleese, especially in Die Another Day, he was in Die Another Day, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Invisible Car.
He just felt like he was trying so desperately to be Desmond Llewellyn, and he shouldn't. He was John Cleese. Where Ben Whishaw, he's being his own Q, but he's still paying homage to Desmond Llewellyn. Like when he says, "And Bond, please make sure you bring him back in one piece."
Yes.
That's Desmond Llewellyn Q said that all the freaking time.
Right. But I also like, too, that the way that he's going to present himself, he is presenting himself as a more modern quartermaster. I can take down a bank in my pajamas before I've had my first cup of Earl Grey.
Yeah.
And it definitely, and Silva is the kind of guy who is very similar to Q in that respect. He's taking down the financial systems of these dictatorships, through a computer, just sitting in that room of servers.
I would have to say, though, as much as I love Javier Bardem, if I had to say there's one weak point to this movie, it's Silva.
His is one of those performances where when it's good, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
And when it's hammy,
also, it's just his whole well, first off, I wish they hadn't gone another rogue agent. We've seen that. I thought Sean Bean's Alex Trevelyan in GoldenEye was the best one we've gotten to that, but we've had so many rogue agents. I wanted something different. I wanted maybe something maybe a little bit more personal to M, maybe a son that she had given up or something when she became M, or a brother or a nephew. It's just something a little bit more personal, a little bit more familial. And so her favorite before you.
Right. But here's the thing, though. When you compare it to Trevelyan's entire modus operandi was he was pissed at Bond.
Well, he was also pissed at England.
He's pissed at England, in general, but that was going to happen anyway.
Well, he was pissed at England for the whole Jens Cossacks betrayal.
This definitely felt more personal, especially because she's got these pet agents that she puts out there. That she did abandon him when she found out that he was doing side dealings.
Yeah.
I can understand that. And it's one of those things that, just like with, if Bond weren't as good of a person as he is, he could have been in Silva's shoes and plotting his revenge for having her tell Moneypenny to take the shot.
Yeah, I mean, it was there was a connection there. I wanted something other than a rogue agent. I wanted, like, make it personal, but make it like something other than a rogue. It's like, we've seen it so many times.
I'll give you this though. At least he didn't have a sky laser.
No, he did not.
Nope. This is the third villain in a row who's got, like, really down to earth, just wants and needs.
Yeah,
he's got plenty of money. He obviously has plenty of money.
And I don't know, the whole thing, like, the list was the big, like, kind of.
It was MacGuffin.
It was the MacGuffin, but only for, like, the first half of the movie.
And then we forgot about it. Exactly.
Yeah, once they captured him, like, then did they get the list back? Did it keep dropping names? What? No, they never mentioned again.
Yep. Yeah, well,
it's no longer the
MacGuffin. All our agents are turning up dead.
The MacGuffin has been MacGuffined.
Yeah. It's just this movie is really interesting, and again, because there is a passing of the guard, so to speak, at the very end.
Yeah.
This movie goes from being more of a traditional James Bond with the look and feel of Casino Royale, and then that last scene puts you right back into the Roger Moore era with the leather-bound doors and the Office of Rich Mahogany and a new M.
Yeah.
Ralph Fiennes is good in this. I honestly don't think you won't see Ralph Fiennes better as M until the final movie. You really won't.
I did like him a lot in this one, though. Like, when they give a little bit more of his backstory, and especially in the scene in the courthouse, or not at the inquiry, when he actually grabs a gun and starts trading fire there. I really liked him in that one.
Yeah. Putting Moneypenny at the desk, typing away.
Yeah, that's another. I'm like, I wish they'd done something different. Is because she said, I guess I just wasn't cut out for field agents. Like, you actually seemed like a pretty competent field agent in the first scene, and then in Macau again. I like, if they just done some kind of dialogue where saying, like, I feel like it's my fault that M was killed because I didn't kill Patrice at the very beginning. Like, that would have made more sense. They just.
Well, they definitely hint at it with the little tete-a-tete they have with whenever Bond and Moneypenny are together. He is always concerned that she's going to harm him.
Yeah.
And he jokes about it. And I think that's why she realized that she can be a kick-ass field agent, but part of the job is you might have to take out one of your colleagues to get the mission done. I don't think she could justify that. I mean,
if that's the reason, I'm totally down for it. I just wish they made it a little bit more clear rather than just say, I guess I wasn't cut out for field agency. Yeah, you were. Mm-hmm. You were pretty friggin' awesome.
Yeah. I mean, she doesn't. I mean, let's be honest. With the fact that there's only 2 more movies left in this series, there isn't a whole lot of office work to do. And it's Naomi Harris. By the next movie, she's already nominated for an Oscar.
Yeah.
So it's not so much that they will find work for her to do there. It's not a lot of behind the desk.
Yeah.
But also, MI6 has got their own problems come Spectre that they are dealing with while Bond is dealing with the other stuff. So you will see more of her. She is definitely more active than Lois Maxwell was.
Her.
Yeah.
She's probably my favorite Moneypenny, because especially just like her back and forth with Daniel Craig were so on point. They have unbelievable chemistry.
Better. It really felt better because Samantha Bond was okay, but again, just like those Brosnan movies, it was a steady stream downward.
Yeah.
The actress who played Moneypenny in the Dalton movies didn't really get a whole lot to do.
I keep forgetting that there was a Moneypenny in the Dalton movie.
Oh yeah, and she was a smoke show. Like
Yeah.
whip the glasses off, take out that ponytail, smoke show.
Yeah. And then Lois Maxwell
This is
was
Lois Maxwell.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she has all the demeanor of your favorite school marm.
Yeah. Which was fine in the 60s.
Yeah.
Not so much anymore.
Yeah. All in all, I really do enjoy this movie. The end scene at Skyfall was a lot of fun. The fact that they bring back the original Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Was so cool. You get the theme. You very rarely get the theme in these movies, and you got the theme. And you got threatened with the ejector seat, which is one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. Oh, you're thinking about ejecting me? Go ahead. Do it. I don't care.
And the fact that the most pissed we've seen of Bond in this movie is when they blew up the Aston Martin.
Exactly. I have seen first Bond girls get murdered by dogs and knives and everything else, and he hasn't shown nearly as much concern as he did with that car.
Yeah. That was a really nice card, though.
Oh, what a great reaction, though. That is an Oscar-worthy reaction.
I mean, if I had that Aston Martin and someone tried to attack it, yeah, I'd probably be
probably
really
do the same. Yeah. This is a great Bond movie. Again, I love the more down-to-earthness of Casino Royale. I feel like the stakes were higher in this. This was definitely a personal story with personal stakes.
Yeah.
And
it was the most we ever got about Bond's backstory.
Yeah.
Find out exactly what happened when when his parents were killed. We found out what happened to him when his parents were he hid in that.
Oh, and that's just the tip of the iceberg, my friend.
Okay.
You will get more next movie.
All right, cool.
So yeah, so now you got to watch Spectre.
Yeah. I think the reason I put this a little bit more above Casino Royale is the fact that I think I have, for me, Casino Royale, the first third of the movie and like the last 30 minutes of the movie just aren't as good as that Casino Royale part. This one, the part that I'm not as big of a fan of, is a much smaller section of the movie. So
okay, fair. I mean, it's just like Raiders of the Lost Ark or Last Crusade. Yeah. You can have your favorite, and it's not the wrong answer.
Yeah, as long as it's not Moonraker.
Right. Seriously. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to. I'm honestly looking forward to seeing what you think of Spectre, because you haven't seen that yet.
No.
You haven't seen No Time to Die yet either, and I'm really interested in seeing. I cannot wait to rewatch that one again.
I've heard that Spectre is more closely. It's more like get the feel of an old style Bond movie, and I'm like. I'm kind of been getting used to the more Casino Royale, Skyfall type feel, but
yeah,
you know what? I just locked in my mind that as long as they can nail the assignment, I don't care how old school they want to go. As long as it's a really great movie, I'm fine with it.
Right.
So worth it.
So yeah, okay. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what you say about that. So, what are your thoughts? What's that?
I'm looking forward to what I say too.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts about Skyfall? We'd love to know, where does this rank in your Daniel Craig movies? Where does it rank in the entire Bond series for you? Mm-hmm. This is definitely top 5 Bond for me.
Oh, it's absolutely top 5.
Yeah.
Possibly top 3. Need to think about it.
Yeah, I didn't think about it too. Excuse me.
I know
it might be top 3. It might be top 3 because, I mean, there might be like one Connery in between.
I'm just not sure what I'd put as my number 2.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna say top 5 right now because again, I'm on the fence for this and No Time to Die. But so we'd love to know what your thoughts are. Leave a polite comment below. Let us know what you think. If this is your first time to the channel, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. We have an entire playlist of these Bond reviews that we've been doing over the last couple of months. Honestly, I'm looking forward to moving on, but we still have 2 more Bond movies to go to. If you want to get
don't worry, we already know what we're getting to after this.
I'm very excited. So I look forward to hearing your thoughts on this movie. If you want to follow us on social media, you can follow us on Twitter at Geek Salad Radio and on Facebook at Geek Salad Podcast. You can also check out our TeePublic store, which is keyword at Geek Salad or Geek Salad Podcast. Also, Mike and I host a little podcast called Geek Salad. You can check that out wherever you get your podcasts. It's iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Podcasts, you name it. We are there. New episode has been recorded. We just got to get it edited.
Yeah.
From
And,
hell,
I was having
high
some
water.
I was having some computer issues this morning and last night. So
fun. So I'm still on vacation. So who knows? So yeah, we will get that out as soon as we can. However, we still got that Bond episode out where we rank all the Bond songs. So hopefully you can enjoy that.
Yeah.
And anyway, James Bond will return next week in Spectre. So until next time, I'm Andy.
I'm Mike.
Go forth and be nerdful. Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.